Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and I am joined again today by my friend Tom for another episode of Enjoying Black Powder with people shooting in the background. Today, we have like one of the really high-tech rifles of this period.
Right.
It's a Swiss Vetterli.
Correct.
How many rounds does that thing hold?
Well, you can fit 11 in the tube, 1 in the elevator, and then possibly 1 in the chamber. So up to 13-ish rounds ready to go.
You know, normally what we've been doing on this channel, on this series, is we'll look at the single shot version of the rifle, and then we'll look at the inevitable mag-fed conversion.
Right.
The Swiss just jumped straight into magazine-fed.
Oh yeah, no, they were really forward-thinking because like in 1866, they passed a declaration saying all of our guys are going to be equipped with repeating rifles. Probably because Europe was being Europe and they were fighting each other and they were worried. And
the Swiss were being Swiss.
Yes.
And they're like, we don't want none of that.
Yep.
Stay the hell out.
Exactly. And so they looked around the world to find what they really liked. And what they really liked were like the Henrys and the Winchester 1866s. And they said, we like that magazine system. Let's use it.
But let's put it in a real caliber instead of a pistol cartridge.
Right.
So let's take the 41 rimfire cartridge that we're already using for Peabody rifles. Yeah. And we're already making it. We already got it. Let's just go ahead and build a rifle around that. So we get what is essentially like, it's the Vetterli bolt system combined with the Henry magazine and elevator system.
Right.
Cool hybrid gun, 12 round capacity in 1869.
Right.
Like, the Mauser 71 is still 2 years away, and it only holds 1 round.
Right. There are a few weird things. It is rimfire, as you mentioned, which is not what we're shooting today, by the way.
This is not rimfire. Actually, this is big old center fire. Yeah. What's the deal?
Well, the rimfire ammunition actually was made commercially for a long time after these were obsolete, up until like the 1940s, but it's a little hard to come by today.
And it's also largely duds. Ask me how I know.
So I've converted this one to centerfire.
Which is a pretty common thing.
Yes, there is information about it all over the place. We're not going to talk about it right here because of YouTube. But it's an easy conversion, and you're able to make the ammunition out of 8mm Lebel brass.
If only we knew someone who had Lebel brass lying around somewhere.
Yeah. So I converted a huge amount of it to 41 Swiss, and I think we go ahead and put it into practice.
Let's do it. I am excited to shoot this because I've never successfully actually shot one of these before.
All right. Well, I hope today is a good day.
Let's do it. All right. I want to see how this loading system works. Go for it.
All right. Well, this one is the 6971 pattern, so it got rid of a couple of the things that were found on the early ones, like a loading gate. Okay. They found that was completely unnecessary, so they just got rid of it. A couple other little tweaks. But to load it, it's simple. Take the round, shove it in the hole.
That seems simple enough.
Take a second round, shove it in the hole.
So originally, with rimfire ammo, you could have round or pointed bullets, and you didn't have to worry about it. We've gone to center fire ammo. Right. So we should probably make sure to have flat pointed bullets just to make sure that we don't set off primers in the tube.
Right. I do have some that is rounder nosed. They're not Spitzer in any way, shape, or form. I've actually tested these by putting a piece of brass in a vise, putting the bullet on top of it, and hitting it with a hammer to see if it sets off the primer.
Okay.
And it didn't. It just reforms the bullet because it is soft lead, pure lead, round, and not point. Still, I'm not going to load more than a couple of them at one time, just to be that excess of caution. Cool. But yeah. So I got 2 in there right now. So works like a bolt action. Pull, lifts the elevator up.
You want to pull it all the way back and get that elevator jumping out of the action like that.
Right. And you do have to use some force there. It is not something you can delicately cycle.
Okay.
But then puts the round there, lines it up, close the bolt, which drops the elevator down. Next round just comes shooting right back under spring pressure. There's now a round in the chamber. And repeat.
All right. Nice. Gimme. I want to try it. All right. So the elevator on this works on just a vertical up and down principle instead of all the Kropatschek style tube mags where there's a lifter that pivots. 3, 4, 5, 6. Getting a little more pressure in there. 7. Come on. 8. We'll go with it. There we go. Oh. All right, so I've got one jammed in the elevator there.
So let's try.
There we go. This is also an even softer shooting rifle than most of the single-shot black powder guns that we've tried.
Right.
Because it's even shorter case and probably a smaller bullet.
It is. It's a smaller diameter bullet. It is intermediate cartridge, in 1866, compared to the European idea of an infantry rifle being able to shoot out, to 1,500 yards. This one is a lot less powerful than that, but it's by no means a slouch. When the Swiss in 1889 made these obsolete by adopting the Schmidt-Rubin, huge numbers of them came onto the world market. A lot of them were imported into the U.S. by Bannerman's, and because there were so many imported at one time, prices went into the garbage, and they were very affordable by, poor people, especially those in like the mountains of Appalachia, where they were like, we need a bear rifle. And this was considered to be a poor man's bear rifle.
Okay.
So the 41 Swiss, while weak compared to like the 5.77 450 Martini, it's not like a plinker. It is a full power military cartridge.
And that helps explain why rimfire ammo for these was still in production for so long, because there were so many of them on the surplus market. The other cool story about the Vetterlis, Swiss Vetterlis, is there was a whole batch of them that was smuggled into Finland to fight against the Russians during the Russo-Japanese War. The Japanese arranged to bring a bunch of guns into Finland in hopes that the Finns would cause problems for the Russian occupation forces in Finland. Didn't work. The ship was the Grafton, and it ended up sinking. Long story. I actually have a whole video on a Grafton Vetterli, but it is one of these rifles in 41 rimfire.
All right, well, you still got ammo, so...
I can load this on Monday or Sunday and shoot all week long.
All right.
I do notice I have to aim pretty low. This is zeroed. This is not a 100-yard zero. I noticed that also ejects brass straight backwards, right into you, every time.
It does. Yeah, because it's got the elevator coming up on both sides, it needs to come back straight up. Aesthetically, this is a gorgeous rifle. I have no, I don't know why people would spray paint Nerf guns for steampunk cosplay when they can just get a Vetterli. I mean, look at it. It's great.
And it's weird that it looks so good, and yet the Italian Vetterlis just don't. Yeah. I'm not sure what the difference. It must be something in that big checkered hand.
Oh, yeah. Which they actually got rid of in the next iteration in 78, so, yeah. But, for this one, gorgeous. Yes. You want to see how it does on the clock?
I do.
All right, so, as always, starting bolt closed, chamber empty, load 7, fire 7.
Done.
Yep. All right, are you ready? I'm ready.
Stand by.
Stand by. Whew, whew.
35.79.
That's not bad.
Not bad. You had to take the rifle down off your shoulder to cycle it.
Yeah, it's getting really, really stiff and sticky because you have this elevator rubbing up and down against the receiver. It's cartridge fouling at this point. I'm bracing it against my chest to yank it back. And
I think that's one of the things about most of the tube loaders, the Kropatschek style tube loaders, is that pivoting elevator doesn't really get impacted by fouling.
Right.
This absolutely does.
Oh,
There's just gunk and grime all over everything in there.
Yeah.
I've spent a long time practicing my left-handed bolt throw,
Yeah.
and it came through on this. I was able to keep it up on my shoulder most of the rounds.
Still, even that said, it's a great rifle.
I like it.
Oh.
This is the classic thing of you don't get an advantage with a... If you have to load a repeater one round at a time, you only have a speed advantage so long as the magazine is already loaded. You know, if you're going into combat with the gun empty... We've shown we can do pretty much the same speed with single shot guns. It's
sometimes even better because if they're designed to be really easy to load single shot,
right,
you can do it really fast.
It's easier to drop one round onto a loading tray than to push rounds into that little loading port. That said, if you start with this thing with a dozen rounds in it, man, talk about an incredible amount of firepower in 1869 when they actually get them into service. But like, yes, please. It's the assault rifle of its generation in a military sense. It's less powerful, less recoil, still very much an effective ranged weapon, but way higher capacity than anything else around it.
Well, I think we should go inside and reload some of this ammo we just shot.
All right, there's a lot of spent brass lying around, and I want to know what you did with my 8 label cases to make this.
Well, I will show you.
Unfortunately, we can't show you hand loading here on YouTube because YouTube thinks that it's evil and it will corrupt you. So instead, we've put the full version of this video over on the History of Weapons in War streaming app. It's a subscription-only streaming app. It's got 5,500 videos on it right now from 8 different historical, educational firearms channels, all sorts of really cool stuff from black powder to machine guns and everything in between. So if you're not interested, obviously we totally understand it, but if you'd like to help support the educational firearms history community, definitely check out the app. I have a link to the full version of this video over there down in the description text. Thanks for watching. Whoa! Ha! 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 That's really hot. Can I do that again?
Yes.
Thank you.